Hey everyone, how's it going? So in this video, we're going to go ahead and cover molecular orbitals. Now in this video, I don't have that many problems that I'm doing with you. We have about 3. The quiz has about 5 problems, and then you're going to notice that molecular orbitals actually overlap with Diels-Alder. So there's going to be a whole separate video series on that as well, just so that we kind of hit everything we need to hit so you can be successful on your first exam. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and let's head on into molecular orbitals. So here are just some notes. The first thing you want to understand is that all carbons that are involved in the pi system, they're going to want to get orbitals, okay? So when we say pi system, let's talk about what we mean. When we say pi system, we're talking about pi electrons. Now, pi electrons are lone pairs or double bonds, okay? Those are pi electrons. So in molecular orbitals, we have different classifications of where these electrons lie. So the first classification is HOMO, which is highest occupied molecular orbital, and then LUMO, which is lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to take a look at this example and figure out how to do this stuff, right? Because you walk in the first day and you're learning about molecular orbitals and you're like, is this Orgo 2? Am I in the right place? We didn't do this stuff in Orgo 1. Like they talked about it, but we didn't have to know it. You know, you kind of tuned them out. But now we have to know this stuff, so we got to learn it. So when we're looking at this, right, this carbon chain has 4 carbons. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, all 4 carbons are touching the pi electrons. Okay, if you want, you can even draw a resonance structure, which come in handy here. So the resonance structure, it's not going to look as pretty, but it could look something like this. Okay, and this will just further prove that the pi electrons are touching all of your atoms. Okay, now we have to decide how many pi electrons do we have. So we have 4 total atoms involved, or 4 total carbons. Okay, now we want to determine how many pi electrons. So pi electrons are lone pairs and double bonds. So if we look at this guy here, we have 2 double bonds. Each double bond has 2 electrons. Right? These are pi bonds. If you remember in lecture, sometimes they'll say like pi bonds, those are double bonds. And then they'll say sigma bonds, those are single bonds. Okay, just some terminology for you there. But in any case, we have 2 double bonds. So this is 2 pi electrons, 3, 4. So we have 4 atoms and 4 pi electrons. These numbers may not always be the same. It's just in this case, they match up pretty nicely. Okay, so the way you want to do this, I do have all 4 of our orbitals drawn out here, okay? But I just want to explain a little bit more detail for you. So what we have is we have our 4 carbon chain, right? We have carbons 1 through 4. So we said we have 4 atoms and we have 4 pi electrons. Once you know how many atoms you have, that's going to tell you how many pictures, in a sense, you want to draw. So we have 4 atoms, so we want to draw 4 pictures. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now you always want to draw them in a straight line. Okay. As you go bottom to top, you will be increasing in energy. Okay. So as we go bottom to top, we increase in energy. The next thing we want to talk about are nodes.